All right, we live. All right, town folks, welcome once again to another Xbox Roundtable. And from whichever corner of the globe you hail from, good morning and good evening. I'm joined tonight by the one and only Tuck Master,
What's up, fellas?
maxing and relaxing in the man cave,
Oh yeah.
and also from one member from the Technical Difficulties podcast. Once again, we welcome back Mr. Nelson, aka Keep That Bear in Mind, who's hydrating and hydrating some
Yes,
more.
sir.
Keep the hydration in mind.
You're like,
Yes,
good
sir.
lord, man, we ain't even getting to the topics yet, and you already acting like it's dry.
Well, first of all, again, thank you for having me back on your podcast, sir. I do definitely appreciate it. And unfortunately, the host of the Technical Difficulties podcast, Mr. Techstorm, is not present, but I got a cover for him. And y'all, please stay hydrated. Okay.
Yes, please do. Even now in the wintertime when it's cool, this is one of the times where you really can get dehydrated because you
Yes.
won't even know it. You won't even feel it coming.
Yeah.
All right,
Right.
and also we're joined once again by a member of us who's been MIA for a good period of time, Mr. Emmanuel A1.
Oh man, yes sir. It's good to be back on here, man. Good to chop it up with you guys. We got some good topics. Let's get it.
All right, and for those of you who are just joining us or has never popped into a roundtable, the way we do our discussions for the roundtable is is one person will start off with a topic, we'll bounce it around between each other, and then we'll move on to the next person. And so as the bottle spins, it lands on our man Tuck, and he will start us off with the first match thrown on the fire.
Okay, the first match. Okay, this your boy DJ Tuck Master 785. The original Pony Killer, and I can't stand Sony. Let me tell you right. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Everybody in this room know I cannot stand Sony. Okay, and
Let's
this big
go.
thing right here with this fan issue, two fans, two fan manufacturers is doing the PS5. One is quiet and the other one is loud. I'm like, okay. Then I turn around and talk to this one cat, and I said, and I asked him, he got a PS5. His PS5's loud. I said, let me ask you this. Do you have any problem with that of yours is being loud, but others is being quiet? Oh, the first thing was, well, as long as I get to play my games. I'm like, dude, come on now. I'd be very pissed off if something like that happens. If I heard that Sony was doing something like that, or if I heard that Microsoft was doing some shit like that, I'd be very upset. So, what y'all think about that, y'all? Because I'm very pissed off about that. That don't make no damn sense to me.
Want to go first? I'll jump in.
Go ahead.
Okay. I think it's indicative of the excuse my terms, but the shitty quality control they got going on over at Sony, man. I think probably what happened was they probably planned on having that quieter fan. They had some type of supply issue, and they probably had that louder one as a backup. But I've seen some people say there's different fans, based on if it's the digital or the one with the disc. And either way, they should have had the same fan. A few weeks back there was that rumor about how they're going to do these updates and test how the fan is working and everything. It doesn't seem like they have this console fully baked. It's half baked at best, and I'm not sure if it's going to lead to problems. But after the PS4 loud ass fan, they should have been on top of that.
Yeah, and
I agree.
and the thing is that see, I didn't even know about this until I happened to just happened to be perusing Twitter, and I seen some tweets from, of all people, new legal, where apparently he was going back and forth with somebody, and I couldn't figure out what the whole thing was about until Tuck, before we started the podcast, was just on fire. I mean, my man was blowing fire out of out his nostrils. He was like ready to roast somebody. So I didn't even know anything about it until Tuck just went deeper. I just know that I saw New Legal going back and forth with somebody on Twitter in regards to something regarding the PS5 fans. So yeah, that to me it sounds like what's going on is that it sounds like to me it just sounds like the situation is that they had a set part, and there's a chance that they probably ran out of that. Well, that manufacturer they were dealing with probably ran out of the components to continue manufacturing that very fan. And since that fan is Sony's own patent anyway, they probably went ahead and just released the patent over to another manufacturer to go ahead and continue popping these things out to go into the future PS5s. And according to Derp here, he's saying it isn't 2. He's saying it's 3. So I'm like, hold on a sec. I'm like, hold on a second. Wait a minute, 3. So I don't know what to make of it. I mean, I've been seeing some people talking about they've been lately hearing like buzzing or humming noises and stuff. And I even came across like one situation, one video when one dude was saying something about it was like apparently I guess it turned out to be a sticker or something like hitting up against the blades. So I don't know. I'm trying to make sense of it myself. But to me, it's not unheard of for a manufacturer to do something like that, like go to an alternate manufacturer to replace make replacement parts and stuff like that. But if it's coming to a situation where they're yielding parts that are like I guess you could say what's the word I'm looking for, inferior to what was originally there, then it might be time to kind of like continue shopping around.
I agree with you, Fireboss, but you mentioned that post from New Legal, and that person in there was saying, it's not unheard of, 6 months down the road. The problem is, we're the first week, 2 weeks into this, and they already have, Dirt just said 3 different fans. That's terrible to me, man. I mean, I could totally see if it was a revision, but that's not the case. They have some type of quality control issue going on, and this is just one of them.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and the thing is, from what you just said, yeah, you're right, because usually you don't see parts revisions until like you're usually like, dude, like maybe like 6 months or over a year, into the system's life cycle and stuff like that. Because the thing is like, let's try to like think about it. There's always been times where what the hardware may have originally started off with, all of a sudden there's like new components that came from like somewhere else. And so it's not unheard of, but 2 weeks in, yeah, that does, like I said, that does kind of make me wonder about that one rumor, well, not rumor, but the one theory I always had in regards to the production situation with the PlayStation 5, where it's like, everybody's looking at this whole thing of who's like selling more than the other one, when neither one of these guys has really, in all honesty, Xbox nor PlayStation released their full numbers yet. But the thing is that if I remember correctly, before Phil even said anything in an interview, Sony already came out one time making it clear that they were going to be in limited numbers. So that, so the thing is, whereas like Phil, he was kind of like, he didn't say anything about limited numbers. He was saying that we should be good to go, but once he saw the situation of the world, he was kind of like, okay, yeah, we might be running a little bit thin because everybody in their grandma's home, playing games because of this outbreak.
Yeah.
So that kind of like made things shuffle around. But I still feel my theory that out of all the big the big device providers out there, such as like Apple, Microsoft themselves, and Samsung, that PlayStation pulled up to the drive-through last, and they're already out of the McRib sandwich and everything, so they all they're piecing together whatever they can at the last minute. And this situation with the fan could be telling of that. But once again, what I'm saying, folks, take it with a grain of salt, because we're on the outside looking in. So this is only just flat out speculation, based off of what things I've come across and heard, and looked into myself, and that's what it sounds like. It just sounds like that. Even though so many people are like going on this thing about like, oh no, Sony made more. They made more units than Microsoft, so they got plenty more. It really didn't seem like that was the case. I'm gonna be honest with you, because nothing they were doing was really echoing that they made more units than Microsoft. And so to me, it just sounds like, no, I think that whoever they were going with was starting to run out of parts. And that fan, dude, that fan is probably only one thing we're aware of. What else?
Yeah.
Let's think about what else could they have ran out of?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But getting back to your point about with the numbers and all that stuff. See, why is it like every like any of the like Walmarts or the Black Friday, they were saying like you might have like 2 PlayStations to maybe like 10 Xbox X's at each store. So how in the heck are we getting? How the heck are we getting? I mean, because there's some because when I was looking at the YouTube on the Black Friday, it was like. It was like Xbox was like they had like 10 Xboxes, like to like 2 PlayStation 5s each store. So I'm just saying, what are they talking about? That these always outselling the Xbox. Nobody don't know those numbers yet. Nobody don't even know the numbers yet because they both selling out. So what are we talking about? People just crazy out there, man. They start digital VG charts again on this crap, and I'm like, that ain't nothing but an estimate. So now they try to run that back up again. It's like, man, I thought VG charts was dead. I didn't even heard nothing about them in a long time. But now all of a sudden, now they're bringing them back up again. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? But no, let's just tell the truth. Like every store that I seen on YouTube, they said that they had 10 Xbox X's or either the S to maybe 2 or 3 PS5s at each store. So what is it? Xbox is still outselling. They still selling. You still can't find these damn things. So what is the deal? So somebody's lying. And I know some of these damn media people lying their ass off. They don't know their numbers. Nobody don't know their numbers. So except for them. And that's it. So
yeah, shoot, y'all have an idea. Just throwing this out there, and y'all got an idea when we might see the numbers? I'm not really worried about it though, personally.
I'm not either.
I agree. And just to couple that off is anyone who's been watching, be it the roundtable or, if you're coming from the Technical Difficulties podcast, or if you even come from other podcasts covering these companies, be it if it's Microsoft or Sony or any other company within the gaming industry, I think at this point in time, if you've paid enough attention, and if let's say you've done your own research, I think what we're covering right now shouldn't necessarily shock you because, for one, again, like I've said this multiple times, both on again the TD podcast and on to the roundtable as well as the weekly wrap is we have to look at these consoles in two ways. We have to look for the games that come onto the platform and the services accessible to the platform. So at this stage, I think as we're going along further into the generations, I think the number of consoles are going to start are the number, or let's say like this, the number game that we play with the consoles in terms of their selling point, at one point in time, I think we're going to start to get away from that because it's going to be, what's the word? It's going to be essentially
obsolete.
Thank you, obsolete. Because here's the thing. Here's a great advantage that again Microsoft is taking advantage of with that. The what is it called? The X Cloud, if I'm not mistaken, that's what it's called. The X Cloud, or essentially where you can play Xbox Live or the services provided on Xbox anywhere outside of a console.
Yeah, that's
here's the thing. Thank you, sir. So here's the thing, and I think what's important to consider, y'all, is that we're still in 2020, and I'm pretty sure 2021 is not going to necessarily get any better anytime soon. So the thing is this: the consoles were not going to sell like hotcake, like I think a lot of people was assuming it was going to be before Corona came around.
Oh, so they sell obviously. They're just going into the wrong damn hands. That's the problem.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, in terms of everyone getting a hot cake, it's not selling like that in the sense where people would have wanted. Now, here's the thing. At the end of the day, if you look at Sony, it doesn't surprise me that something like this would occur with them, to be honest. And something too to go to Tuck's friend who said, well, it doesn't matter as long as I can play. And here's the thing. I won't lie. I would be in the same position as your friend would be in terms of his mindset if I was in his position. But I think since I've started to put myself in the position of a quote unquote newscaster to an extent.
Hey, what's going on? Somebody eating some Pringles over there? I mean, that's pretty messed up. Not sharing with the rest of the panel.
I'm sorry about that, fellas.
I mean, I love me some Pringles too, Tuck. like Tuck's like, man, it's like, nah, man, this is all me.
Mm-hmm. But to finish to finish my thought on this is, and for Derp, you're absolutely right. Xbox is everywhere, but PS is only really on the console. And this is the crazy part to me that I think people have to adjust to is this. With Sony, again, they rely so much on one side of their console versus trying to find a balance between the two. That's what Microsoft has been doing over the years. They've been trying to make sure they have a balance between both aspects of the console with the games and also with the services. And so the thing is this. Right now, the numbers in terms of the consoles isn't my main concern. I think in the long run, what we're going to have to start paying more attention to is the services. How much do they cost? What are the terms and conditions with these services? Are they going to be fair? Are they going to be just? Is it possible that we can run into issues coming from these services, be it if it's on Microsoft side or Sony side, or even say Ubisoft. Ubisoft has Ubisoft Play. Again, is at one point in time, what we're going to have to come to realize is that the consoles themselves, in terms of the sales, or let's say the hardware side, isn't going to matter anytime soon. What's going to happen is we have to start now shift our focus towards how are these services doing. I can give a damn about the Xbox Series X, the Series S, or the PlayStation 5 selling this, that, and the third. That's not what really matters. It's about what services are being provided and being adjusted appropriately for the marketplace to take in. That's my main concern. But I'll end my thoughts on that.
Yep. And and also just as Dirk just said, engagement is basically the magic word. With all this, because we've seen this in many social media posts and many back and heated back and forths and stuff where it's like Xbox should have been gone. Y'all should have been long dead. Why can't we kill you? It's like it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to to stomp out something with a very high number of engagement. Um, and so the thing is like it's like you know Sony may have these hot these hot now gotta have them now first person exclusives and stuff. But here's the thing though, if and I believe Emmanuel and even Tuck brought it up a few times as well, whereas like if you have an install base of well over 100,000 units out there, but you're only like selling like you know 5,000 to 7,000 10,000 copies of
Mm.
those hot 7 80 to 95 Metacritic type games, and people are only like playing them for like up to like 8 hours, 12 hours, 15 hours, and they're done with them, at least until the DLC comes, and they'll sink in like 2 or 3 more hours, and they drop them again. But yet, you look at say like Gears of War. No matter what everybody likes to sit there flapping their gums about with Gears, there's always continuous engagement with it. Same thing
Yeah.
with Sea of Thieves. There's always continuous engagement. Grounded just came out. Remember how much crap everybody gave that game? Man, you can't. I mean, dude, even though it's kind of like went silent for now because they're still working with it and everything. That game still has a high player number of players on it and stuff like that. And I think especially now because they just released a pawn update. So now you
Yeah.
can finally go into that pawn and stuff and get yourself murdered by by a koi fish and stuff. So it's gonna continue to keep getting better. So that's big. As Derp is saying, that's the magic word right there, engagement and stuff. And that's where all this. That's what this round right here, this generation is what it's going to come down to. It's not going to come down to my box sold more than your box. It's not going to come down to that no more. It's going to come down to how many people we can get on our service. Our box,
Yeah.
our box is just a portal. And heck, you ain't even got to have our box. What's that? You hate our box so much, you hate it so much that you're throwing a mini fridge on top of it. You're hitting it with a pickaxe and stuff. Okay, fine, no problem. Then if you hate it that much, use your cell phone. Everybody's got a smartphone. If you ain't got a smartphone, you got a tablet. Because dude, I've seen 5-year-olds with tablets. And a lot of them are pretty powerful tablets. So they're more than enough to run Game Pass. So what's that? You don't want to use your phone or your tablet? Okay, well shoot, we got a deal with Samsung and who else? I think they said something about LG. Um, where Game Pass and XCloud is coming to TVs.
Mm.
Yay. I love my TV app. Let's go.
Yeah,
And
man.
thanks for joining
Xbox
us.
is definitely ahead of the curve on that one, man. When they stopped reporting the console sales, it was a few years ago. The Game Pass is 20 million compared to 2 million with PlayStation Now. So yeah, they're ahead of the curve, man. And Nelson is right. The sales of the consoles are relevant, and Xbox is already in the lead. When it comes to true next gen, which is cloud gaming and services.
I'm curious as to what hidden carnival that Phil went to and he went into the tent with this fortune teller, this seer with this crystal ball, and just started telling him like, "Oh, it's not gonna matter anymore about boxes. You will usher in a whole new era," and just disappear in a cloud of smoke. And he had to go to Sadia, and Sadia's probably looking at him like, man, what's wrong with you, man? You crazy? What's going on? Because
he doesn't miss, man. He doesn't miss.
Yeah, and I mean, because
the same thing on the same platform, just different devices. Doesn't matter what it is. It can be a phone, it can be a tablet, it can be a PC, it can be a console. We all play together. We all have fun.
Hey, yo, T Reaper, you sound distant.
Oh, I do. All right. How about nah, better?
Oh God.
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. Like too close. but yeah, I mean, and it's funny because ODT's been constantly saying this, like ever since I've met him, and stuff. Whereas he's been saying these things as well. But I'm serious. I'm really curious as to how in the world did Phil see this coming, where it's like, yeah, we're about to come to a situation where the number of boxes in households is not going to make a difference.
Well, you know what, to be honest with you, boss, as far as I'm concerned, like I was just saying before, since I've started to really put my own personal interest into more, covering articles and different news within the game industry, what I started to realize is, excuse me for a second, what I started to realize is that this is something that isn't new. What I think is the case is, like for instance, if you think about like consoles didn't start out with a service necessarily. But I think once services were introduced, I think what happened was we started going down I'm not gonna say a slope necessarily, but it's like, how do I want to say this? I think when we started to transition into a different kind of market in terms of the value this product was going to bring. Because it wasn't just about the games, it was about the services or the subscriptions that you had to, or at the beginning, you didn't necessarily have to, it was more inclined. If you wanted to get a little special deal on this, that, and the third. But as time progressed, when companies started to make the subscription fees more apparable, that you need to have them to access all the features in the game that comes onto that platform, be it if it's first party or third party. What at one point in time, when you start to realize is that you could say the peak of this, I probably would say, is with the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3 was probably like the peak of this. If with that, after the generation afterwards, there started to be a bit of a decline in terms of what is going to be the primary factor, what people are going to go out and buy these consoles for. And so the thing is this, if we get to a point where the services are so, what's the word? If the services become essentially a need more than a want, right? Or as you just said, something like they're the center. Then the thing is this, you have to appropriately adjust. So the thing is this, again, Microsoft, yes, the last generation was not great, but I think that was such a great humbling experience that they need to have. Because here's the thing, is it possible, because I've been thinking about this, is it possible that if the reversal was done, is it possible that Sony would be where Microsoft is right now? And a part of me wants to say yes, maybe not in the same extent like they are right now necessarily, but I think that this is something that would have to happen. It isn't about a matter of, if this, I'll put it like this. It's not a matter of if we would have gone to this point in time. It's more of a fact of when we were going to get to it, or who was going to cross it first, so to speak. To answer your question,
It could be a situation where who knows, maybe they all seen it, but it was a question of who was going to be brave enough to step in that boat and row across that body of water.
Right.
I personally think it's all about who's going to be the one to stick in that the longest and basically row out to sea and basically just float. If you can float, you'll survive. That's how that works.
Well, if you really think about it, fellas, if you really just think about the whole thing was going on, that Microsoft really just, when they put the Game Pass out there and it's so successful and everything, and the first thing they said it wasn't going to be successful at all, wasn't going to do this, wasn't going to do that, and all that stuff. Then all of a sudden, come to find out that it is having success. But the thing about it is, if Sony would have did it first, they would have came out and said straight up that it's the greatest thing. But Microsoft had to go through hell to turn around and get the Game Pass the way it is. And to answer your question, if it was the vice versa, no, Sony would have. I don't even think Sony would have done it, because you see what's going on with Sony now. They can't even do the back compatible list right. They can't do none of that stuff right. I'm hearing that they still having problems with their backwards compatible list with the PS4 games. I just know how Sony is, and I know how they are, and I know they don't have the money that Microsoft has. And now all of a sudden, now here you over here saying now Jim Ryan, he wants a Game Pass. I'm like, okay, you had a long time to do that, but you didn't do it then because
it's strange, Chuck. I'm sorry to interrupt, but it's strange because we all remember when the conversation came up over a month ago, and
right.
what was he said? Game Pass is not sustainable.
Right.
So it's
not sustainable. It's not sustainable for PlayStation. It's sustainable for Xbox.
I think them investors had something else to say about that. So that's
you ain't never lying. The investors had a lot to say about that. Look what's going on. Okay, you remember
if you're talking about services sold, yes, that's what you were wanting to actually ask people to be better than Sony at, not consoles sold. Consoles and devices don't matter. So, no matter what you sell, that's not what they're trying to actually be better at. That's
it's the services.
Yeah, it's the services, but Sony is still stuck at hardware sales. So you basically do that, and keep Sony and only cares about hardware sales. You're going to be arguing about something totally different for an entirely another generation.
I don't even think we're going to be.
They do a whole shake up from the top. It's going to
continue. It's all about services for Phil. He don't care what device you play on.
Yeah, until Sony has a shakeup all the way from the top, all the way over in Japan, it's going to continue being that same mentality, which is that same mentality that's stuck in the 90s.
Well, believe me not, they feeling the heat. They feeling the heat. Now all of a sudden, Jim Ryan, now he wanna get all of a sudden that Jim Ryan, he wants to get a game. He want to get a Game Pass because, like you said, those investors, they looking at the dollar signs.
Honestly, they had Game Pass first because they came out with PS Now and they had the streaming that they got from the Gaikai services. So they had all this stuff first. They just dropped the ball by having that shit being streaming, and it cost $20. Game Pass came out $10, for the introductory part of it before Game Pass Ultimate. And it was, it became a better and better service. Sony they were the first to it. It was just Game Pass is all, pretty much has been the best value in gaming.
Right.
Sony dropped the ball.
It was better implementation, especially with services, because let's all call a spade here. Let's think about this. Sony's online services were not a very good shining example of what online, gaming services is. That's why they had to turn to Microsoft to make use of their Azure.
Yep, that's just the reason why they had to do it.
Yeah, because I'm trying to remember, but I think Gaikai folded, didn't they?
That was the service. That was the streaming service that was acquired by Sony, and that's how they, did the PS Now, because they have the PS Now on PC, and they have it on console. And at first, it was just streaming, and that was why they bought it at first. And that was the big thing that Game Pass came in with. You could download your games. Sony was only streaming from that Game Pass service that they brought, and it was terrible.
right.
Like you're saying,
And it was terrible.
quality was terrible.
Here he comes to save the day. He bought.
But
I mean, and that just makes it the truth, y'all. I mean, out of the whole doggone thing. I mean, you gotta look at this. Look what was going through the 360 era. Okay, we had a subscription then. Sony didn't. And Sony ate up on that too. Say, well, here go these doggone Sony ponies gonna say, well, we don't have to pay for the service. Then all of a sudden, the Xbox One, the PS4 came. Look what they did. They started charging people for online.
Sure, I mean, they had to. That was money on the table. Them investors weren't having that.
Heck yeah, they wasn't having that. When it come down to it, those investors wasn't gonna have it. They saw the dollar signs that Microsoft was getting, and they said, "Oh hell no, we got to get some of this."
It was like, good Lord, I like Mondays on the golf course.
Oh heck yeah,
I like having a second. I like having a wife with a push up.
And watch and see, guys. Mark my word. When Microsoft don't have these, when they got these other services now, they got all these exclusives that they can put exclusive to Xbox. They don't need Sony. They don't need Nintendo. But Sony gonna need it because Sony's gonna want to have they're gonna want to have Elder Scrolls on their system, and they are, because that's money. Watch and see if somebody don't push the narrative and want to turn around and share their exclusive with ours. I'll guarantee you. Watch and see. I mean, I'm hoping that I'm wrong. I'm hoping that we don't share it, but watch and see something like that. I think something like that's about to happen. I think it really is. I hope that it's not.
They can afford not to have it on there.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it's not, but I just think it is. I mean, because Phil Spencer say all this exclusive talk. He don't like for these games to be exclusive to each console. He said that. So. But
ultimately, though, if you think about it, Tuck, if you look back into like past interviews, even he's starting to feel the heat now and realize that that way of thinking, as much as because let's give it to him. I mean, he's a friendly dude. He's about the gaming culture, but But the thing about it is that I hate to say it, but this is me, from my business hat. But my business hat may differ from your business hat, Emmanuel's. He-Bots, and Nelson and everything, and definitely ODTs, but my business hat is that if I want to make value to bring more people over to my ecosystem, I can't let you have this. But it's not because I'm being a greedy ass. It's also it's also because of the fact that I already know that we're having a hard enough time as it is bringing people here. We have to give them reason to come here. And then on top of that, another.
Hey, Fireball, sorry, I don't mean to. His words recently so he said,
hey, He-Bot, you sound real distant.
I sound distant?
Oh, yeah. You're kind of low.
Yeah, you do.
His exact words, I still sound far or no?
Yeah, you do.
Yep. It might be your mic volume.
What about now?
Sound a little bit better.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out which is the one with volume. Anyway, his actual words recently was, I need to make sure that I make the Xbox console owners feel like they're valued. In his interview.
Oh yeah, and He-Bot, think about it. How many times a lot of PlayStation fans rubbed it in our face about, oh, Sony makes us feel like kings.
Right, right. But see, look. This is a debate that's pretty like.
It's old.
It's not even that it's old. Yeah, it is old, but at the same time, what real games do you see of Xbox on PlayStation? You never saw any. What Xbox games you saw on PS4? None, because Minecraft wasn't theirs. Minecraft
No,
was already there. That was a promise they gave the guy. He said, "Don't take it away," because it was already there. Okay, and Cuphead and Ori, those were obviously deals that the developers changed because they wanted to, get more money from other sides after they got the help. Because if you notice, as soon as Microsoft said, "Okay, you can put it somewhere else," what happened? Oh, the next game at Moon Studios will not be published by Microsoft. Why? Because they cut their end of the bargain. The bargain was you were going to leave it exclusive, but then you go begging because Garen Greenberg said it himself. They came to us to ask us if they can put it on another platform,
I think they
right?
tried. They tried to acquire Moon Studios also, and Moon Studios declined.
And what happened with Studio MDHR? That DLC hadn't come out yet, right? Why? Because more than likely Microsoft was funding it, and the minute they came to them, "Oh, can we put it on the Switch? Can we put it on PS4? Okay, you can put it there. We ain't gonna fund you the rest of your game. No, now you do it with the money you make over there." You see what I'm trying to say? And what they came out
Yep.
recently and said, "Oh, we're pushing it to next year." It's been like 4 years since they announced it, 3 years, something like that. So
Okay.
no one's gonna make an investment of $7.6 billion so that they can go give it to their friends somewhere else. Especially when Nintendo and Sony have been very clear in showing to them that they do not have any intentions to share gains with them or help them out in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah,
Okay?
well, in that case, yeah, I didn't know that.
It's
Another
just
thing also is yeah, another thing is is the logistics of it is going to start biting them in the ass because you got to it's like for everything that you put there, you got to support that,
yeah, that's right.
and that's coming out of your pocket.
Because games got to run on their servers, and if you want it to run correctly, Nintendo's not going to agree to do that. Neither Sony, because then they got to pay them because it's running off their servers, and they're not going to want to do that. You see what I'm trying to say?
Yep.
Right. Yeah, I
There's a
see what
lot
you're
of
saying.
there's a lot of clauses there, but people just they like to hear themselves talk. Oh, they're not
Uh-huh.
gonna have no games. They're gonna put the games here. They're gonna put no, they're not. They're not gonna do that. Okay, now if there's a deal already put in place that existed before these developing studios that they own now, they before they had
They'll go along with it.
ownership, they're gonna have to honor them because there's legal contracts. If you do not honor those legal contracts, Microsoft gets sued out the wazoo, and they're gonna get sued for billions of dollars
It
because
costs them more.
it's
It
breach of
costs them more to get.
contract.
Yeah, it
You,
costs
you
them more.
those contracts were in play before they own any of those studios, so they cannot break those contracts. So you're gonna see Psychonauts 2. You're gonna see what was the other game that's supposed to that was one of the ones that came out like the Outer Wilds that you saw there. You're gonna see those games once those contracts are over. What they had, anything else further or going to the future, you will not see anywhere else. Okay. The whole point, the whole spiel was, oh, give us a reason to own the console. They did. They gave you a bunch of reasons, but people didn't bother to buy them. They gave you Rise. They gave you Quantum Break. They gave you Recore. They gave you Sunset. They gave you games like Ori and Cuphead when they were just on Xbox. You understand? They gave you stuff like Dead Rising 4, 3, that was only on the console. Loco Cycle, Crimson Dragon, a bunch of diversity stuff, a bunch of different stuff, small, big, in the middle, in between, and people still complain it wasn't good enough, or they didn't support it enough, or it didn't do well enough. Whatever the case may be. You see what I'm saying? So the point of the matter is that if you want to be taken serious, you have to make sure that you keep you know big prize possessions on your console because what makes a console, what gives a console an identity, are its exclusives at the end of the day. There's no arguing that. Okay, you're not gonna see Halo on Switch. You ain't gonna see no Halo on no damn freaking PS4. It's not gonna happen.
Oh,
Like
no.
just
Yeah.
like you'll never see God of War on no on no Xbox or no Nintendo Switch. It's not gonna happen.
Well, technically, Hebot, you kind of can't get God of War on the
Oh
Xbox.
my God, here we go. See, you gotta behave badly, don't you? We're not talking about cheating with emulation, okay, bro?
I know. I just had to. I know. I
Well,
just had to
technically,
throw
he's
it out
also
there.
actually not even he's not even referring to that Hebat. He's referring
You,
to our one of
you, ha-
PC PSN online.
you had to throw the shade. You had to. You guys are terrible. You're terrible. Oh my God. Well, I guess that was that was the topic, part of the topic I was talking about. I'm assuming.
Oh, I'd argue I think so.
We haven't got to that one yet.
No. I'm talking about the game aspect of going somewhere else because of the Bethesda purchase or something.
Oh no. Be honest with you, we kind of like oozed away from their initial topic, which Tuck started us off with in regards to the fan situation with the PS5, where apparently, yeah, it's multiple brands of fans being used in the PS5 instead of one type.
Right. I mean, can I give my thoughts on that? If
I
yeah.
haven't heard this story. I haven't heard this story this week yet, so I would like a refresher, please.
Okay, I'll leave that to Hebot then.
But for what's going on, supposedly what came out was that Sony, they released that one of the reasons why, part of the reason why the PS5 units are having some noise issues, like in the disc or whatever, or in the console itself, is because they use two different manufacturers to develop the different fans for them, or the same type of fans, but from two different type of manufacturers, right? So some of them are loud, and some of them are quiet. And people are like, "Oh, but that's all right." Whatever, I'm saying, that's a situation where it could be okay, but that's a situation that could be not okay, because if it's making noise, obviously it's for a reason, right? Because it wasn't built correctly enough, because it's not normal for a console to make sounds like it's about to explode or something. You understand? Or like there's a machine gun firing inside the console. That's not a normal thing. Now,
they're saying these are two different fans though, but not that it's like manufactured wrong, but like one has like a higher density of fan stacks.
Okay.
And one tuber even said something about when he opened up his PS5, it was actually a sticker got loose and was hitting on the on the fan blade.
Oh damn!
Yeah, I saw that. So listen, this is what I think. Long term, okay. I'm assuming, this is what I have to assume because I don't work at Sony, but this is what makes logical sense. More than likely, what ends up happening was they try to cut corners with cost, right?
Which we know they always do.
That I'm already aware of. It's because their cost is too high for manufacturing that they want to split the cost between the fans between two different.
Well, this is what I think happened, Reaper. They probably started with one company that gave them a deal, right? And they figured, we can cover the cost. But then when they realized how much it was going to come out to, or it was getting expensive as the process was going along with the development of the console, they probably went to someone else and like, listen, we need these type of fans. Can you make them? They're like, okay, we can make them cheaper, but we're going to have less fan density, meaning less blades inside the fan. Okay. And then now this is why they're facing the issues. And obviously, if it's running at high temperatures, right, with the hardware itself, right, and as well that there has a liquid cooling solution, which already is a no-no, especially when you follow PC community. They've had nothing but complaints because it's not something that it's really substantial. Like it messes up. And if it does, the problem becomes bigger because it messes up the whole board and all types of chips inside because it melts in and it just ruins everything. So it becomes really costly and it's not really recommended, right?
It becomes like a symbiote.
Right. It's going to be an issue.
Yeah.
But, people got to look at it like, because I know that people are going to be like, oh, it's okay. It's all right. It doesn't matter. Who cares if it's a different company that's doing it for different units? It is because you're going to have a more faulty ones than not faulty because though every single one that uses the one that's having the issue is going to happen. Maybe not right away, but as you're going along, and you don't want that because to fix that and bring it back, it's going to cost you more because you got to ship it back to them. You can't charge it before them because out of courtesy you can't charge the customer. Then you got to ship it right back to them after you fix it. You understand? So it's going to become a more costly. That's why the red rings of death for Microsoft was about $1 billion or $2 billion when it was at the end of the day. With all the consoles they had to ship and ship out, but see, a company like Microsoft can do that because they have the capital, and even that was one of the reasons why it kind of shied away the Microsoft company with the Xbox division because they didn't like that they had to spend all that money in just replacing and repairing it, even though the 360 did so well for them, right? It was kind of like a turn-off, no, so to speak. And there was ramblings that they were just even thinking about selling it off, right? Or even closing it down.
Yep.
So
they were.
So imagine when a company that has money and they were so discouraged by that situation that happened. Imagine what I could do to a company like Sony that they're hurting not only in the movie division, they're hurting in the TV department, they're hurting in the phone department, and now they're hurting in the PlayStation department as well, which was the only thing that kept them afloat, right, so to speak. And, it could damn well hurt them to the point where that's probably why you heard ramblings already them saying that this is probably going to be their last console that they make. And then there was a ridiculous article came out somewhere today where they were trying to say that they're already working on a PS5 Pro, and it's only been 2 weeks into the next generation.
Dude, Heba, you remember me saying something about that there was supposedly a patent that was already submitted before the PS5 and the Xbox Series X even came out for PS5 Pro?
Well, here, if they can't even get the console to run correctly with what they have there now, what makes you think they're going to be able to have another console that works to run even better with 2 graphic cards in it? Like, that sounds ludicrous. Okay? So, at the end of the day, okay, as far as them doing that, I know why they did it. More than likely, is because of that. They had to cut costs, and when they realized it was getting too expensive, they went with another manufacturer, used a cheaper alternative, a cheaper alternative. That now they're feeling the cost of it, right, or the heat from it. And long term, that's not going to be good for the fans or for the company. So you can't cheer that on and be like, oh, it's okay. You got to look at it like, damn. Then is it really worth investing? Because now you're going to buy a console and say, oh, which fan do I have? And you're going to have that concern, right? So I get why they did it, but they better figure out a way to either fix it or just stop manufacturing the consoles altogether until they can fix all the ones that are defective with the ones that actually works, and worry about that and try to resell it and see if they can make up for any loss. And then once they have their self, back on track, then start manufacturing in lower quantities. So it will cost them less money because they're going to sell, people still want them, but selling at high rates and high quantities I think is going to hurt them long term a lot more. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. But that's wild. That's like you don't ever really hear things like that. But they said that even the PS4 they used a lot of aftermarket parts off the shelves from other different companies. So it's not like it's old practices. They've done this before as well.
I think the price could be a strong factor, but I mean, even going back to Mark Cerny's road to PS5, he was talking about they're still working on developing the proper cooling solution. So it might not have been cost. It might be some of the units are the earlier units, and they were able to produce those. Have the quieter fan, but it had inadequate cooling. So then they had to go to the the fan with the denser blades and everything, and it's just going to end up with the louder PS5, similar to PS4.
But the one with the denser blades is the one that's actually it's quieter, the one that has more fan blades, because it gives off more it cools it off better. That's the whole point.
I was under the impression that was the louder one, because it is cooling better. Yeah, I could be wrong.
No, I could be wrong too. I mean, I'm talking about it from a technical standpoint. Me knowing technician as building hardware and building PCs through the years. I'm talking to you from that perspective. But
I got you.
it could be the other way around. You're absolutely right. I just haven't really read into it. I got to find out more. But if that's the case, something just look, I really feel that Sony should have held back the PS5 and released it later, because I think they were rushing, because they're just making sure that they didn't release, that Microsoft didn't release the Xbox Series X before them, get a high jump on them with the hype behind it, that all the good, positive feedback that it was getting, the perspective so what you call it? Oh my God, I forgot the word. The perception that it was getting, all of it has been positive. So they see this. So I have to assume that they were concerned, like, oh no, if they get a jump on us, they beat us in sales. This can hurt us, just like the same way they did with 360. And their ego, their arrogance, instead of being smart, because at the end of the day, if they think smart, and they would realize that it's still going to sell, because they still have their fan base that follow them, which a lot of it is mainly the casuals, because the casuals don't know any better when they're purchasing stuff. You understand? So I'm assuming, right? Because it is an assumption, but based on logic, right? Using a logical thought process here, talking, not just talking out my ass, of course, because I don't like to be irresponsible, but thinking with a logical thought process, right? They had to have been more careful, right, with their approach. And I would have just said, they should have just been like, you know what? Let's release it a little bit later, even if it's 6 months later or whatever. Make sure that when these units are ready, that we can test them enough to know that they're going to hold on. And they would have probably figured out they would have ran into all these issues that it's having now, and try and figure out a way to find solutions, instead of being in the situation they're in now, where they can't back off now, because now not only the people are going out to buy it, but now people have it in their hands, and they got to fix this issue, because who knows how worse it's going to get as time goes on, because it's other stuff happening. It's bricking, firmwares are messing up the game. You can't connect a hard drive in the front or in the back, or right from the jump. It messes it up as well. Like, there's a lot of things going on. The controllers are starting to be faulty already. Like, and it's only been like 2 to 3 weeks, since they released. You get what I'm saying? That's just a lot of stuff in such a small window that it's been available. You really didn't see that, because even with 360, you didn't see the red rings until like a year later, where it started becoming a bigger issue. When I think they started playing I think it was one of the Call of Duties, or one of the GTAs that started, because it was so demanding and ran hot.
It was a Call of Duty. If I remember correctly, it was a Call of Duty.
Right. So it was like a year and a half in or something like that they started having issues. This is right off the jump. Like, a dude put up today, he bought the console, put it on, started playing Star Wars, I think Battlefront, or it was the Star Wars Jedi Order, whatever, Fallen Order. And it started clipping, like it was acting like it had, a storm inside the game going on. You know what I mean? So that's not good, man. Like, right off the hit, somebody paid $550 and that's happened to them. No, like they're in a serious situation right now where they better really think about how they move forward from this point, because if they get too, like I said, they keep their arrogance and they get too, they don't be careful and step on that thin thread line, they could really get them in a lot of trouble where they'll be screwed, like literally screwed. You know what I mean?
Once that new wears off, people are not having that bullshit.
Yeah, Ebot, I want to put something out. You made a really good point. We are screwed, because if basically all we do is everything with our backs against the wall, we love the fandom so much that we don't care what we play and what we don't. What does it matter where our money goes?
Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. That's dangerous.
Yeah, it is. It is very dangerous. So I ask again.
Yeah. You can't.
Is there really something you can't spend my money on?
You can't really conform and be like, oh, it's okay, and make excuses, because this is a $500 piece of machinery. People don't get money for free. That's not how it works. And if we kind of like look turn the other cheek and look the other way, is going to turn into what microtransactions have turned into, where they don't really respect what the game is and just do all kinds of crazy shit on microtransactions. Now look how people feel about that. Oh, I don't like that practices. Well, you got to speak with your reaction, your wallet, your approach, and you got to, you can't just be like, oh, it's okay, and then let it happen. And I've seen people literally say, oh, it's okay, Sony will fix it. No, it's not okay. That's not a good way to mental way to go about it, because these things are not cheap. These things are, and gaming has always been about delivering quality products. It hasn't been about delivering half-baked products and that's it. That's not how it works. You
To
know?
be fair though, there has been stuff happening with the Xboxes as well. But the stark differences I've been noticing is a lot of those issues. Whereas, like I tell a lot of the people in the Reddit that I'm on, is like, don't come on social media, squawking about it. You took the pictures, you took the videos,
Mhm.
take it to Microsoft, and all of them, they're like, oh yeah, they replaced it. Oh yeah, they took it back and they sent it back out. I mean,
Well,
even New
I
Legal,
well,
it's like,
well,
yeah,
I don't know.
even
I don't know what
yeah,
happened with him. I don't know what happened with him because I haven't spoken to him. I don't know, but I heard that he had an issue, but I don't know him personally because he didn't tell me, so I don't know what it was. But
Well,
he
the
had it back
issue was the
within a
H,
week.
the issue was the HDMI. The issue that he had was with the HDMI cable, and that was in the
oh, okay.
system.
But see, this is the other
So
thing. Okay, this is the other thing. It's just with the Xbox, right? There's also things of hardware that are not compatible because they weren't they don't have the same type of architecture and custom architecture that the Series X has built in it. Like some of the TVs, some of the receivers, like you can't bypass for the HDMI 2.1 to run at 120 through a receiver and get that Dolby Atmos with the picture quality. And there's no firmware issue; it's actually hardware issue because they had only a certain type. Like they have the type A, which is uncompressed, instead of having type A and B, which is uncompressed and compressed, which the Series X supports. So it's not just an issue of the console itself being messed up, because that HDMI issue that Legal had, it could have been also that his TV that he has, if it's an older one, might not be able to work with the new high speed HDMI, right? Let's just say, as an example, right? Or it could be that the receiver that he's running into might not be working correctly. And again, I'm not saying this is what it is. I'm saying these are examples that could happen to people because it's happening to people now where they're trying to pass it through their receivers, even though they support 2.1, 120 hertz, but it doesn't work. And with TVs, but TVs, some of the TVs need firmware up there. In this case, I would have to say Microsoft should have had a closer relationship, I guess, with uh, electronic companies like that make receivers, that make TVs, to make sure that everything was a lot more fluid. Instead, they only concentrated with the developers and the hardware itself for the console. But Sony has an advantage in that point because Sony does TV, Sony does receivers. They know about electronics, so they have the advantage. And a lot of the proprietary parts they're using are parts that are older. They're older tech that mostly every single receiver and TV already supports for years now. So they're not having these issues. You understand? And so Microsoft, they don't make TVs, they don't make receivers. They needed to make a closer relationship for like any future release. They should do this, any future release of any other console, where they make sure once they whatever tech they put on those consoles, they're gonna be ready with those TVs and with the receivers based off their architecture as well. Because now it makes it look like the console's incapable of doing stuff, and people are running with it like, oh look, it sucks. It's a big flop. It's not even saying what it. Like for example, the dev kits that weren't ready because they had, this the NDAs with AMD. You know what I mean? They have the newer dev kits, and now it looks like it's the console when it's not. It's because a lot of the tech that they have, since it's so brand new and so advanced with RDNA 2, with the ray tracing accelerated, which is built in, and with Dolby Atmos and Vision and DLM and all that other stuff, DLI rather, all those technologies are not 100% compatible with these other, devices like a TV, like your receiver, and the dev kits themselves for the developers. And people don't understand that. See, the normal person, the casual person is not going to understand. They're going to believe the rhetoric or the bullshit that a person tells them at the store or that they see in a YouTuber putting it up like, oh, see, Microsoft lied, this was crap. And you're going to just listen to it. All right. They're not going to really know, unless it's somebody like us that we're really in the know, we're really hardcore gamers, and this is what we do, this is our hobby. So we look into it, we read up about it, and we'll know in the ins and outs. But the normies, which is the casuals, right? They're not going to do that. So that's why it's easy to bend it over and make it seem like Microsoft is messing up and the Series X is this big piece of shit. The guy from Forbes, he did it with a couple of articles the last couple of days.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, the whole thing about the Series X is 2020's biggest disappointment.
Exactly. So that's the proof there that they're going to twist it in their favor, especially that dude always talks positive about Sony and never about Xbox. He's a clickbait artist. Okay? So that's where the problem is. So in that case, I gotta blame Microsoft. They needed to be more in touch with Vizio, Samsung, LG, like more connected with them. Like a year ago, before, look, these are the TV you guys are gonna bring out. Okay, this is what we're gonna have in the Series X. They have to match so they work perfectly. Make sure that everything ran smoothly with these companies and with the receiver companies like the Panasonic, Pioneer, Denon, Clips, all those companies that make receivers for home theaters, because they are the only console that supports Dolby Atmos, Dolby Vision. You know what I'm trying to say? They got the best of the best, and you can't even use it because the TV companies, the receiver companies, they weren't in the same line and in the same, in that same bracket with them at the same time. Like they didn't meet eye to eye. They didn't they're kind of like lost in translation, right? And now it makes it look like Microsoft is bullshitting. They lied. They hyped it up more than what it was supposed to be. You see what I'm saying? And that's bad press. And I know that good press and bad press is still good press, right? At the end of the day, it's press. But in this situation, no, because they already come from a generation and a console generation from the Xbox One where all they had was bad perception for everything, right? And the media love pushing it. So you don't want to start this generation already with the same shit. You understand? Even if it's until the games come out, which could be in a year or two, that's still going to hurt. And meanwhile, it's going to affect the brand. That's why I said that they need to really figure that out for the future. Like, don't ever let that happen again, because their console is very capable, but it's not ready because they were behind with dev kits, and they're behind with sharing these techs with companies like TV companies and receiver companies. And that's also these issues that people are having that they don't know because they're not tech savvy. They're just going along with, okay, you connect the HDMI to the 2.1 and that's it. They don't understand the technicalities and the real issues and complexities that come with it. Okay. And that's a problem. That can bite them in the ass long term. That's why I'm saying that, it's not just the console itself. So I don't believe that, the console's not working. No, I think it's more of a miscommunication between people not knowing what the TV can handle, what it supports, and Microsoft with these companies. And I have to blame Microsoft. And I don't blame Microsoft for shit unless it's legitimate. I blame Microsoft because they needed to keep in some contact because they know Sony has the advantage. It's like Sony knows about movies. Microsoft don't have a movie studio, so Sony's always going to have an advantage, right? Same thing with TVs and receivers. They don't make receivers and TV. Microsoft needed to be on top of the game, like they did with the phones. Now they finally made a phone that is capable than anything else out there, and they won all the awards this year. But it took them all that hard, smacks in the face with the original entries that they did before, even though the phones were fantastic, because people didn't trust them. They didn't think that it was good enough hardware, right? That their phones were shit when they weren't, right? But only the ones that had it knew this. So now they're going through the same kind of dilemma with the TV companies and the receivers with the Xbox Series X. And these people are all experiencing different types. Some TVs, it's a simple fix as just going into the menu directly on the TV and going to HDMI and put it on 2.1 compatible. That's as easy as that to fix. But people don't know this. You see what I'm saying? It's messed up. But that's why I said I don't want to compare the Xbox issues with the PlayStation issues. I don't think the Xbox issues are really about the hardware itself. I think it's the miscommunication with the TV companies and the receiver companies and a lot of the things that's going on. And that's why these people are having the issues. But it's not that the hardware itself is ruined. The Sony PS5 that's hardware. The hardware is fucking up. It's messed up. It's having some serious internal silicone issues. That's a big difference. That's let me give a chance to the other guys to talk. That's all, my thought on it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. The big issue about it is that you have people. Yeah, you have people where there's no problem whatsoever, but there's somewhere out the gate they have to turn around and take it back to GameStop, and
Right.
GameStop is not even. I don't think GameStop is even taking them back now.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So
I don't know if they have supply to replace them either right now at the moment. You know
No.
what I mean? Like, because it's just such low supply right now, because it's high in demand, that I don't even know if they could replace it for anybody just right now. I know for a fact that the GameStop, because of the girls that I know that work there, that's a friend of mine, the manager, and some of the guys, they said that they're prioritizing that when people have any defective ones, they bring them to change them out for them right away. That's why they're getting less less shipment in of the console. And it
and
makes
keep
sense.
that and keep that in mind, folks. Those of y'all who are tempted by a scalper, scalpers will not swap it out.
Right, you can't swap it out. You can't even buy insurance with that damn thing.
And and the thing is, I don't know if anything from Sony is going to amount to any sort of protection plan if they ask where'd you buy this,
Mm-hmm. I mean,
because there's no telling what the heck these because to them it's like this: if you got it from Walmart, that's one thing. If you bought it from Joe Smokey around the corner up in the alley, we don't know what Joe Smokey did to this thing before he gave it to you.
you're not getting a receipt. Period. You're
So
not getting a receipt.
I say the only protection people can get if they're doing resellers is going through eBay. I saw one guy who had got ripped off for $1,500. He was able to get his money back. After he didn't get his PS5.
Yeah. That's different though. That's Emmanuel, right? That's Emmanuel
Yep.
talking.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I'm sorry, Emmanuel. I don't mean to be rude. It's the first time I actually speak with you in the podcast. Sorry, but
No, you all good, man.
Mr. A1 Steaks awesome self.
no. That's as far as I would do it for people, because you got to understand, a lot of people, they're so busy either with work or with their lives that they don't want to go through the hassle of going to 15,000 stores for the next 3 months. You understand what I'm saying? So they'll be like, I got the money, I'll just buy it. Do I think they're crazy? Yeah, of course I do. But then again, I'm a different type of person. Some people just don't care. For them, they think it's worth it paying $1,000 and save themselves all the trips or the headaches of even getting it in their hands. Standing online, dealing with rude people, or standing in the store dealing with rude customer service. You get what I'm trying to say? So I get it. But if that's the route you're going to take, I'd definitely be like, you know what? Buy it from eBay or Amazon, because at least if it's somebody trying to rip you off, they can at least refund you your money and they go after those people.
Right.
On their accounts. You know? But when you do it with a scalper like a Macari or like, let's say, in WhatsApp or in Wix, you're running a big risk, because you're fucked at that point. You see what I'm saying?
Hell, I was looking at that one YouTuber. That one YouTuber, he bought his for like $1,000 from a scalper. Got home, the damn system wasn't even in the box. I'm like, damn, that's fucked up. That's jacked up. That's jacked up right there. Bought the damn thing for $1,000. Got home and didn't even have it in there. Didn't even have the damn thing in there. And then there may be other reports that people didn't bought them. They had a bottle of ketchup and a bottle of mustard in the box.
I would have took it back and been like, are you trying to say something?
No, but listen to this. Those people were actually, some of those purchases were from Amazon. People were buying it from Amazon. And they said some of the workers were swapping it out and putting like ketchup bottles, stuff like that in it.
Oh yeah. They caught over in UK. They caught one driver trying to do that.
They're from
What?
actual employees. And what
Boy.
they did, and
Yeah,
one of
they caught them on camera.
one of the outlets
That's craziness.
from a scalper group, I think they bought 1,000 Xbox Series X's, right? And the people that sold it to them caught onto it and canceled every order.
Yeah,
I saw that was a fake report that came out with it yesterday. They said they canceled that because they actually had too low stock. They just tried to spin that story.
Okay. That's
Oh
crazy.
man.
but in all honesty, though, if they know that these are items that are in short supply and everything, I mean, I guess the thing is, to a business, it's like, oh, as long as we're making the money. But it's kind of like, but look who these are going to. These are going to people who are selling this well over the markup of what you're selling it for. And there's a scalping situation going on. So if you're seeing somebody grabbing 1,000 and this ain't no reseller himself, then it would, to me, it'd be like, okay, this sounds like bots.
Right.
But see, that's how they're doing it. They're all part of a group, so they'll get, even if you're allotted for, three max per household, or even one max per household, they might have 4,000 members in the group, so they can just, each one they can go in and buy it. It's a legit purchase. But that's what they were trying to say. They were trying to stop them from doing that, but they came out and said, that was just fake. They just had low stock. But that is how they group with the 3,500. That's exactly how they got it. It was just a bunch of them buying them.
It's a shame, but that's exactly it's illegal, but legal. You know what I mean? The way they're doing, he's right. There's a bunch of them, and they all buy like 2 probably from different outlets, or one in different outlets, and that'll be like 2,000 members. You can buy, and 2,000 members buy one console from, let's say, one from Target, one from Best Buy. It equates to 4,000 units. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's how they're doing it. Then they share, they sell it for a certain markup price, and then they share the profits. Like, you got to pay a certain amount of money to that group, like a percentage. Oh, you got to give us 15% or 10% of whatever you sell it for. You see what I'm saying?
It's definitely messed up and unethical, but it is it's kind of genius. I got to give them that.
It's great. It's pretty sad at the same time. I know it's crazy. I don't know. It's crazy.
Does it work though? Is the question.
Yeah, apparently it does. Apparently it does.
As long as we paid.
I think one of the companies reported that they made over $1 million.
Good.
Jesus.
I'm serious. That's just retarded.
Yep. But the thing is, the launch of this generation has just been ugly. It's not so much as the scalpers, it's also the situation with the idiots out there going around smashing up their PlayStation and their Xboxes and stuff. And it's like, it's like, I know Tuck's feelings are very strong, very, very anti-PlayStation, but I highly doubt he would bother wasting up his money to let alone buy one than to just buy it just to destroy it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay, hey, let's hear from number one. No, I wouldn't do that. I'd just sell it. I'm telling you that right off the bat. If somebody gave me one, I'd just sell it straight out the bat.
Oh, at least you're being honest.
I just sell it right off the bat, or give it to my son. He's a PS guy. Either just give it to him.
Right.
But as far as I'm concerned, I'm all Xbox, baby. I'm all about the box. I don't give a damn about a PS5. Never will. Never have. Never will.
Yeah.
With they lying.
Yes, sir.
With they lying and with they lying, conniving ass. Nope. Don't trust them. Don't need them. Don't want them to even be around.
Tuck, you're so shallow sometimes, Tuck.
Don't give a damn about being shallow. Give a damn about being shallow. This is my feeling, damn it. This is what I feel.
Never mind. I should have never said nothing. My bad.
Brother but you're all right with me, man. Shit. I just don't get it. I mean, you got these damn crazy ass people. They get what they want. They get if they want to go out there and spend $1,000 and don't check don't even check the box. Just go home and say, and then all of a sudden you open up, don't see no box. You fucked up. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn.
It's fucked up, but you come on, you're not stupid.
Shit, some people are.
You know you're taking a risk. The minute that you get in an unethical way, you know you're taking a risk. It doesn't matter who you are, you're taking a risk. How about you buy something with people that meet up with each other, and instead they get robbed?
Oh yeah.
That's happened before too.
Oh yeah, it has.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like, nah, bro, you got to play it safe with certain things. Something like that you know you need it to be protected by the store, by a warranty. That makes more sense to do it.
Make more sense than anything out there.
The traditional way, you know what I mean?
Yep. Oh, that's how that goes. I mean, that's sad, but that's how. I mean, but you got stupid people out there that does that crap, though, man. Shit.
Man, I ain't got loot like that, man.
Dude, even if I had loot like that, I still wouldn't do it. I'm not that damn stuck up or that doggone desperate to get a system. No. Never have, never will be that damn desperate.
Yeah.
Shit.
Well, you're older too. You have older mentalities. You know,
even when I was younger, I still had that mentality. Oh no, I ain't gonna spend no. Hell, I just have to wait. Shit, fuck.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. You know what I mean? You're right, but a lot of people don't.
Yeah, they don't. They ain't patient at all. That's what's wrong with the world today. People not patient at all.
It's the reality of
they're very impatient when it comes to millennials. I'll give you that.
Yep.
Yep. All right.
So,
well, well, anybody has another topic they wanna throw on the fire? Because we actually morphed into a whole lot of stuff just off the top. I mean, Tuck the Firebringer, boy. He brought energy, and then Hebot came in, and Hebot just threw some kerosene on it.
Oh, we gotta get. We hadn't even addressed this Forbes thing yet.
Oh shit!
I don't even think we even addressed that yet.
I think I
like the
emulator subject. It's a lot better because it's funny.
Yeah, it is funny.
Well, the only thing about the Forbes thing, because that was actually going to be my topic when it got to me. But we had such a good conversation going, so that's why I wasn't too worried about it. But the whole thing about it, in all honesty, because I believe we a few minutes ago already hit hard on it already, is just that I already kind of gotten that vibe from this guy that he was just throwing some casual shade. But because his whole thing was like, oh well, the PS5 hasn't been that spectacular either, because where's the games? But the thing was, it was more slight towards Xbox.
I can say the same thing. Where's my Series X only games? But it doesn't matter because I just play a game. So as long as you get games, I'm happy, and that's what I am now. And I don't even have my system yet.
Yeah, I mean, so and
I don't give a shit. Lobby, give me a lobby. Yeah. Give me a lobby. I'll be happy. That's how that works.
Yeah, and I mean, his whole thing is just like everyone else, whereas they seem to be more fixated on this whole thing with the controller than anything else. It's all about like, this makes it feel true next gen. So to me, it's kind of like, okay, so you're gonna tell me like what Nintendo's been doing, with the Wii and with the 3DS. You're gonna sit there and tell me that
now we play features. We don't play games. That's how it works.
Yeah.
If that's the case, the Kinect was revolutionary as well. And what was everybody saying? That's lying on me. Oh my God. They want to see my nut sacks hanging. Like, come on. It's the same stupid shit. Remember that the Kinect was part of the whole console experience. You actually handled your whole console. You talked to it. It was an AI that you spoke with that controlled the whole console. That you used it for games, you used it for surfing, you used it for turning it on, turning it off.
Into my Google display. That's exactly what happened to it.
Right. It was a completely different thing. So now, because you have a more modernized or more advanced version of the haptic feedback, now that's revolutionary. Come on, you got to stop. We got to stop the stupidity. Like, enough's enough. It's just blatant. Right now, it's blatant. Okay, it's cool, good. At the end of the day, it was still existed. It was on the Elite controller. It just wasn't motorized. It was manual. Same technology, same idea. It just was one's manual, one's not. One's motorized. Okay, so that's it. But I seen someone put up oh my God, Microsoft copied now with the share button because it was one of the greatest inventions that Sony did. Like, here we go. Jesus Christ. Here we go. There we go. You could tell when these guys only played on a PlayStation. You could tell right away. Right away. When they never played on anything else. Right, Emmanuel? For real.
Yeah, man.
You could just tell, man. You could tell.
They got all the same talking points.
Yeah. It's always either when it was about console sales, it was console sales. That's what they brought up. When it was about resolution, it was about resolution. When it was about the games, it was about the games. When it was about not having a power brick, it was about not having a power brick. When it was about the console being smaller, not as big, now the console's bigger than the Eiffel Tower. Now it's beautiful, it's elegant, it's gorgeous. Oh my gosh, it looks like a beautiful modern piece of art. Like, dude, what you gonna do? Shove that fucking console up your ass? You gotta be up to it. Nina, for me, a console could look like a straight up toilet. If it works and it plays great, I don't give a fuck what the hell it look like.
But see, this one thing I don't get about the whole damn thing. They're gonna say it's innovative, innovation and all that stuff. But even though they say they have its own issues, how can it be innovative and it still get its own damn issues?
It's innovative, right? It's innovative, right? It's innovating, burning up the whole fucking house. That's what it's
doing. Should you get one that's gonna blow that damn house up?
It literally is literally acting like a house heater. Okay, like a house.
Yeah.
It looks like one and it's acting like one. It's the new house heater.
That's right.
That's exactly what it is.
And we
hit that son of a gun.
It's a house essential.
And we all know there's been plenty of fires with portable heaters. Okay, we know that for a fact, especially us.
That's why you gotta tell Sony, and with every PS5 purchase, give them a home fire.
Hey, I played this. If somebody gave me one, you know what? You right. I have use for it. I use for floor heater. Just like you said, use the fourth floor heater. Yeah. Hey, and be done with it.
Look, I want a heater that's safe. I don't want to be scared that it burn down my house. No,
well, that's true too. That's true too.
Or burn down the island.
We're good.
Yeah, or do whatever.
When that dude opened it up, he took a little hammer and said, "Pink." Tapped it in the corner. Pink. Tapped it in the corner. The console was almost halfway already dismantled. I was like, damn, that's all it took? Oh,
hey, I want to ask y'all something. That shit
was hilarious.
I want to ask y'all something. Have y'all heard anything about the Xbox Series X bricking?
Bricking? No, no.
There's been a few posts in regards to an update that they pushed out for Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I guess I didn't get to read completely on it, so I can't give like full details. But basically, there was an update, and I think it was when people said they went into the game, played the game for a while, and they closed the game, that it would shut the system off or something.
It might.
Yeah, I think I saw that was only with ray tracing too, though, right?
Right.
Yeah. I did. Okay. Well, but I mean, as Activision physically came out and put out a statement saying we are aware of the issue with the Xbox Series X and PlayStation, and we're trying to fix it. Have they said that yet?
I believe so.
So.
Okay. Because if they didn't, then it's just she said. You don't really know until you see a statement from them. That's how I look at it.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
yeah, it was one of those we're looking into it kind of statements.
Okay.
Right.
Got you.
Yeah. So the way Derp is saying that he's making it sound like the system is deliberately trying to kill itself.
Oh shit! There goes Derp.
Right, I
He's
mean,
in the comments. Derp. Oh, there he goes.
Like I can't take it no more. I just can't take it no more.
because I had a friend. He's trying to play NBA 2K, and he said it crashed on him twice. But outside of that, he haven't had no problem with it since then.
The reason why it's crashing is because of the heat. When it gets too hot,
Yeah,
it's like
yeah, the heat. Yeah.
it's like it's like that with everything. If you have a TV on a hot space that's hot on for too long and it gets hot, it'll turn off on you. Same thing like the car. If it gets too hot, it'll turn off on you. Same thing
Right,
like the receiver. If it's too hot, it'll turn off on you. That's
right,
it's supposed to be like a defense mechanism, so it doesn't ruin the hardware. Okay, but the problem that seems to be happening is that when it happens with the PlayStation, it's too late. Once it happens, it ruins the actual hardware. That's what it seems like what's happening. So
right. Because actually he moved his Xbox Series to another location. He haven't had no problem since.
Okay. No, but I'm saying that's the defense mechanism built in each hardware itself.
Right,
But if it turns back on with the Xbox, then that means he's ventilating it the correct way
right,
because they said it from the beginning. You gotta leave it in an open area where it's ventilated correctly because it gets really hot on the top and it can cause overheating issues and the console might
right,
turn off. So he
right.
warned you about it.
Yeah.
I've seen this one dude. Somebody put up. I don't even know if that's real, but they put this dude that he had like his house was filthy, filthy, and he had a brand new PS5, and that's the only thing that it looked like it was a piece of gold because it was the only thing so clean. That shit looked nasty. What the fuck? The comments were so dirty that it looked like a pile of duck ball or hairball that a cat spits out. You couldn't even tell it was a console. I was like, ew. And,
Yeah,
Shit.
allegedly that's a guy with like mental illness over in Russia, and
Are you serious?
he all he does is game, so he doesn't take care of himself or his house, and
that's
he saved up all his
bull.
money and bought that PS5.
See, I'm not trying to
Bull,
make fun
bull
of, I'm
crap.
not
I'm
trying to
gonna.
make, I'm not trying to make fun of. No,
Shit.
seriously, I'm not trying to make fun of that. If he's mentally ill, what's sad is somebody should have somebody help him so he can keep up with himself.
Yeah,
That's sad, dude. I don't know how
yeah.
that might eat on him.
Shit.
That's crazy. That's disgusting.
Man, let me tell you right now, man. I remember when I was fixing the 360s with the 3 rings of death and all that stuff. Man, this one guy, well, he went on and brought his 360 over. Man, my wife said, "Oh hell no, you been My wife said, "No, you do this right outside, because you ain't bringing that one in here. That son of a gun,
Shit.
that son of a gun,
Oh shit.
dude." I opened that son of a gun outside. I seen, man, little roaches and everything. Oh my lord. Shoot. My wife said, "No, you gonna make sure you do this one outside." Which I was doing them in the garage anyway. I was doing them in the garage anyway, but no, she said, "You gonna do this one outside. You ain't gonna do this in the garage. You gonna do it right outside." Man, that son of a gun was so dirty.
Dang.
I said, "Damn."
Even the roaches got gamer tags.
Shit, yeah.
Oh my god.
Shit. I started to call the guy and said, "Man, listen, y'all, man, you come back and get this damn thing, man. I'm not doing this thing."
You should have been like, "No saving this shit. This shit just broke."
Shit. Man, good thing. Shit, good thing. Hey, I barely got it to run.
Wow.
Y'all see
Shit,
y'all see what Derp is saying?
What is there saying?
Now, yeah. See, the thing is, it's funny because what you was just to add what you was saying earlier, Hebot.
Yeah.
Who else saw that breakdown video? What's his name? I think they call him Tech Jesus or something like that, where he was like showing how hot the PS5 actually is.
Yeah. The guys that always
Gamers Nexus.
Yeah, that's
the
him.
guys
That's him.
they always run the thermals on each system and shit when they're hot. Yeah.
Yeah,
He
and
said but he found a simple solution. He put a heating coil, like he put a plate, and basically with that plate, it's like when you're soldering, right? And you learn this in school when you go to tech school, right? When you solder, right, in order to prevent the heat to catch the motherboard, you clip it with a clip that's made out of metal, right? That metal is what retains all the heat from the solder when you're putting it on, so it won't hit the board. It goes up and shoots up to the metal, and that's exactly what he did. He put a plate on top of where the cooling system is, right? I think it was the liquid cooling chip, and the heat that was condensing in there was going to the plate, and it minimized it by like a whole bunch. Like he showed the thing. So like a real simple solution. It just goes to tell you how out of touch Sony is with stuff right now. It just goes to show you.
Yeah, and I mean he took the plates off, the side plates, and he was like,
yeah. So when I told you that he just tapped it
Yeah.
with a hammer, and it disassembled with 2 little taps. I was like, oh damn, that shit is cheap. Hell no.
yeah, I mean, and he's showing like where it's like where the memory is and stuff. The GDDR6.
Yeah, it's getting
He's-
hot. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like there's like this thin strip there, and there's like thermal pads that are barely even touching the damn chips. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what to think about that.
That's what I said. But with the fact that he put a simple solution just shows you how out of touch Sony is. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Because it was, it's if their engineers are anywhere near, as coherent as they claim to be, they would see. Listen, we got to do something about it. It's not going to work unless they thought they were going to get away with it, and there was nothing going to happen because there's no way. There's no way. It runs just in the middle. It runs too hot. That's why you're seeing those people that are getting those cigarette burns in the middle of them, in the middle plate. Some of them that you see them that have like a brown burn mark. That's what it is. It's right where the liquid cooling chip is, right there.
Man, and I see Derp is also saying that apparently he said one dude said even with the fan it was still hot.
Ouch! He burned himself, right?
So one dude had a fan and it was still hot. So
Yeah. And that's not commonality. That doesn't really happen. So that
But-
tells you.
I mean, the thing about it is, I mean, these systems are gonna be outputting some heat and stuff. But good
Dude,
God, it's like when you look at a lot of people looking at the thermals for the Xbox, for the Series X and the S, they're like, man, they're like, dude, there shouldn't be no problems whatsoever with overheating on these things.
Well, look, they're running. Those consoles are running brand new tech that's on. It's even new on the PC side of things. It's brand new tech. Everybody knows that video cards, CPUs, and GPUs get extremely hot. Everybody knows that. Those things are running at almost 200. What, 200 is it? In some instances, like with Gears, that is hot. So
You ain't never lying.
Those consoles, the way they're designed, like the way you look at the Series X, the way it's designed is incredible because the heat that it retains that it's doing, that shit is crazy. Imagine when we start seeing the games that are actually utilizing the full power of the consoles.
Yeah, cause I remember one time.
Go
Cause
ahead.
I tell you right now, I remember one time, man, when I was like building a computer myself, shit, I put my hand on that damn GPU, shit, burnt my damn finger off. I was like, oh man, shit, that shit was hot, and it don't take long to get hot either.
Well, that's what you have. A lot of people have a lot of liquid, different cooling solutions. They'll have the liquid solutions. They'll have like 5 fans. That's why you see that. It's to
Keep them damn things cool.
Because if it gets too hot, that's what happens. You have burnouts. You burn the motherboard. You can burn the CPU. All that stuff happens when it gets too hot. And that's the reason for it. So, and the fact that they're in that box, and you would think the PlayStation would have an advantage because it's a lot bigger. But to be honest, I think it's the plates will make it look so much bigger because the internal side and the inside, you see how skinny it is, and then you see how kind of small it is. I don't think it's enough breathing room. And that fan that it has is not big enough to circulate that heat either. I think that's the problem too.
I personally don't see a need for those plates, man. I mean, if it's just the center part itself and a nice, nice decent sized plates on the side, it'd probably look a lot more better. But
Like appealing. Mm-hmm.
yeah, but the thing about it is that it probably would detract from the main point of it being big and loose like that.
got a rudimentary design to begin with. You understand what I'm saying, boss? So it's
The
got a
design seemed
rudimentary
like it was an
design. So
afterthought.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It looks like it was a rush thing. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. They should have just went to the drawing board and took a different approach. You understand? And waited a little longer. I really think they just brought it out to rush and put a new tech that was more advanced that they didn't realize was going to be, the issue, that was going to hurt it long term because it was actually not built sufficient enough to protect it from, the overheating, the clock speeds that's going to give out, and the way that it's designed, and the way that they designed it upwards, with that rudimentary design, and the fans are just on the two sides, not in the bottom. It's not flowing it up the way that it is with the Xbox, because they say that's the reason why they designed it that way, because they wanted to flow from the bottom up and throw it all the way out. Which makes a lot of sense with the way it's that the cooling system works on the Xbox, and it has that chamber where it takes out like that soaks up all the heat, and it has the same one. It has one of those as well inside the Xbox. So I forget what they call. Jesus Christ,
Vapor
the,
chamber.
the vapor chamber. Exactly. Thank you. The vapor chamber. Exactly. That's what it is. And you see the vapor chamber size of the PS5. This thing's huge. And
Yeah,
it's still not helping it.
that thing.
That's the problem, though. It's not a vapor chamber. They just got a heat sink. It's just a regular heat sink.
Yeah,
Man,
it's
dude, that's a big
that.
that's a big old plumbing pipe, man. I'm serious. I mean, that thing.
It's
Seriously,
big, boss. It's
that
big.
thing. All kidding aside and everything, that thing looks like a murder weapon, man. All you gotta do is club somebody in the head, put it back in the PS5. They
Oh hell
wouldn't,
yeah!
they wouldn't even know.
Don't piss your wife off. She's gonna break your shit and then kill you with the fucking with the vapor chamber itself.
It's like, we can't figure out what a murder weapon is.
And the fact that it comes off so easily like a Lego set, you're fucked. All you gotta do is poop, poop. It's disassembled. It's disassembled, ready to go.
Pull a misery on you.
Jeez.
Can tie you up in the bed and use it to break your ankle.
Oh, don't you dare even mention that movie, man. God, dog. No, you didn't. Misery? Oh, my Lord. Oh,
That's funny.
that's a movie that I don't even want to even watch no more, man. That movie, man, I'm like, God, dog.
Well,
Man, I don't wish.
Just watch Castle Rock. The whole season, this season is about the story about her, about what's her name? Oh my God,
Kathy Bates.
Kathy Bates. Yes, Kathy Bates. My memory's all over the place today. Yeah, the whole season of Castle Rock is about that. It talks about murderers when they were younger, and you got to see the shit she does in the show.
Yeesh.
Retarded.
Hey, I tell you right now, if y'all want to watch a good movie, watch that movie with Russell Crowe. That son of a gun is crazy in that movie.
Oh, Unhinged.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, he's a motherfucker.
He's a motherfucker in that damn movie. Boy. He is sporadic. Yeah, and I finally got that movie Overlord too. I watched it, but I had to get it in 4K, man.
It's a good movie. That's
a good movie.
That's like Wolfenstein. Real life
Yeah.
Wolfenstein movie.
Oh man.
When Tuck said the name, I was like, wait a minute, where have I heard it? Oh, wait a minute, now I remember that movie.
Yeah. There's another one that is more like low budget, but it's actually and it's really good too, called Frankenstein's Castle, something like that. I'm not mistaken. I forgot what it's.
Well, I tell you right now, and they left that Overlord wide open for another one. I don't know if they're gonna do another one, but they left it wide open for another one.
The Cabin Fever movie.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. Oh God, I can see. Hebot's not the only one. My memory's all over the place right now too. But there was another movie that came out, and that, along with Overlord, are part of the same universe. And there's supposed to be a third movie that's supposed to come to tie them all together.
All right, I didn't know that.
Are you talking about the Cabin Fever thing?
Huh?
Are you talking about Cabin Fever? Well, that's this
Mm-hmm.
guy.
That's it. That's it. Cabin in the Woods.
Is it Cabin in the Woods? Okay.
Yeah, I think it was Cabin in the Woods. But I think they're all supposed to be like in the same set in the same universe.
Hmm.
And there's supposed to be another movie that's supposed to tie it all together.
Those kids get rabies or something like that. And,
Mm.
and
Oh, that was
you know,
Cabin Fever.
Cabin Fever. Yeah, he made the same director made that movie also, Overlord.
Mm.
I'm trying to remember. his
JJ.
name. No, it's not JJ. No.
No, not
What's
Abrams.
his name, Darius?
Well, JJ is the one. He's the one that made Overlord.
Your boy.
JJ is the one that made Overlord.
Right? Eli Roth. Eli Roth. What are you talking about? Hey. Yeah, it seems Eli Roth, the guy I'm talking about.
Mm.
Yeah, so you know. But no, dude, I mean, it's crazy. But like I said, these PS people, they want to go there and buy that crap. Go there and buy it. I don't give a flying flig about y'all at all. If y'all want to go out there and buy that piece of crap when you know there's got issues, what's going on with it, go on ahead and buy it. Go on ahead and buy it. And when you be disappointed, hey, all I gotta say is that this group of people told y'all asses so. So
Hey, I gotta
You
fly
know.
out real quick. I'll see you guys in the next one, all right? I'm sorry.
All right, man. All right, thanks for joining us, T-Bot.
No, no, you very
Peace
welcome.
out, Hebot.
It's my pleasure.
okay, I'll see you later, Hebot.
All right, bye.
And there he goes, out to save Castle Grayskull.
Or save another PS guy from making PS guy from making the same damn mistake of buying a PS5. Just tell him to go to an Xbox.
Well, I mean, overall, it's like this, man. If that's what folks want to spend that hard-earned coin on, just let them. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like, it's what you get. That's all I can say, because there's some cases where, like for example, what's his name who couldn't join us, TechStorm. His didn't give him any problems yet. Knock on wood, because I don't want
Right.
man to go through that stuff. But it's something where it's like the flag. We all know the flags were there, man. The writing was on the wall as to what we're looking at. And my biggest concern is still going to be with that soldered on chip, the SSD, because I'm telling you, if any of them points break loose, I mean, you think the whole storage wipe thing is an issue? Nah, you just won't have no SSD, homie. One dude already making jokes on social media, talking about like, man, I'm gonna be like, shoot. Well, Sony about to have me rich up in here. I'm gonna be up in here. I'm gonna be up in here soldering people's SSDs. You're like, shoot, that's gonna be my new side hustle. He's like, shoot, I ain't just gonna be doing Fire Sticks. I'm gonna be soldering PS5 SSDs. You're like, shoot, you're like, man, you got the confidence in it. I know I don't, because I mean, you look at the breakdown with the Xbox, it's kind of like you can see that, oh, okay, it's a M.2. I just got to find one of that same form factor, and I can just, because another guy,
Then you got the
just
2.1 coming up soon, which is going to be awesome.
there was another guy just like the Nexus guy, who was showing he actually hooked it up to his computer, the SSD from the Xbox, and he could pull up all the partitions. So he could like look at each partition, and he can be like, okay, this is it. This is the one for security. This is the one for the OS. I believe this one is the one for the quick resume. So he was kind of like, he was like, don't be surprised if later down the road somebody starts coming across tools where they can mirror and flash your partitions onto a new drive in case something happens and you got to replace that one.
So it just turns into another USB. Well, actually, not technically. What that's going to turn into is going to turn into a USB for friends, basically.
Yeah.
USB
So. Yeah, so I mean, so it's a little. So to me, the repairability situation seems a little bit more favorable with the Series X and S. But other than that,
Well,
I mean,
I actually love the fact that we used the Series S and X, and the way we did it is awesome because we can see how fast they overheat, or how fast they oversell, or how fast they sell out, and then which one is more preferable is now being more better strategic sold to the customer abroad.
man, hey guys, one of these days, I'm gonna actually see if I can bring Derp in here.
I think he was saying he wanted to get on in the New Legals podcast. So yeah, he needs to get in here one of these days.
Yeah, but let's see. I'm trying to think. Any other topics anybody want to go over real quick? We got about good 10 minutes.
I got a quick one. I just want to talk about some Game Pass stuff. I just found this. Well, I've known about it for a while, but I just started playing it, and it's freaking amazing.
But you there?
Yeah,
Hello?
I am.
Oh, shit. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we still here.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
Okay, yeah, my bad. I dropped my damn phone. But I was gonna say I just found this. I just started playing this game on Game Pass, Gato Roboto, and it's pretty awesome, man. It's one of those games where I'm really seeing the benefits of the new D-pad on the Series X controller. But just also, we got great games coming tomorrow. We got Dragon Quest XI Deluxe Edition. We got Control, Super Hot. I think a new version of Super Hot. So yeah, man, we're eating good over here on Xbox.
Yeah, and just as I was telling another guy and stuff like that, who was like, basically more or less just somebody trying to stir up, more BS and stuff, regarding like the game and performance situation and stuff like that. And I'm actually to a point where it's like, to me, it's like, you know what, let them have it, because at the end of the day, let's be real about this. At the end of the day, okay, you can sit there talking about like, okay, well, look, y'all got the marketing rights to Assassin's Creed. We running it better than y'all. To me, it's like, okay, well, I mean, there's two, and
Oh shit!
so it's like, yeah,
You still
go
there,
ahead and
Fred
have
Boss?
it. Yeah, I'm right here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
sound
hear
like
boss.
you sound like you dropped out for a little bit. It might be on my end. I don't know.
No, it might have been me. Who knows? But yeah, as I was telling the guy, I was like, dude, just like, you can have it for right now, but at the end of the day, this is not definitive of what's going to happen with by the end of next year.
Yeah.
Because there's like, to me, I think the big story, I think the big turning point of this whole thing is going to be once the right developers fully take the time to sit their asses down and fully understand velocity and especially direct storage
And gravity.
and then get in that direct ML, that machine learning.
Yeah.
That there is when it's going to be the I guess you could say the real truth serum, because it's going to get to a point where they're going to be making games at 720p and we won't even know it unless they tell us. We won't even know it because machine learning will upscale it so to a point where it's like, man, it looks like 4K to me.
Yeah.
You think it's 4K? Yeah, it looks like 4K, man. And the game.
Were you the one talking about the super resolution the other day, Fireboss?
Yeah. Well, I was one of the people where it's like, the whole thing of seeing 4K 60, 4K 60 frames per second with ray tracing, to a lot of people that's like like a unicorn with with a leprechaun riding on top of it with a bowl of Lucky Charms. You don't expect to see it. That's how they treat it. And the thing is that I think it's very possible. I mean, maybe I'm being a little bit too, optimistic, but I think that it is a very strong possibility of them doing that once, like in the case of Nvidia, the DLSS thing 2.0 gets more, I guess you could say they get a more of a tighter handle on it because it's already, doing, working some wonders already, at least according to the testimonies of a lot of people. But with the DirectML, and from what I'm hearing from like a lot of other developers and stuff like that, they're kind of like, man, I could just make my game run at 720p, and you, the player, won't even know it. To you, it's 4K.
Yeah, exactly.
I think if that works out like that, that's gonna make that Series S a freaking beast, man.
It will. That's why I said I'm like the way that he did it because it was awesome. Doesn't matter which way you choose, you win either way.
Yeah, and that's why I also added in that conversation that I think that's why a lot of y'all need to stop. Well, not y'all, but when I was talking to him, I was like, that's why a lot of y'all are going to have to stop snubbing the S, because everything that is inside the X is inside the S as well. Just on a smaller scale.
It's just on a small scale, and the X has the actual full gravity power that the S does not actually possess. The S just does it on an upscale version. That's all.
Yeah. So I mean, the power and so much more is there, and I'm just waiting for these next set of games to see what it is. But I think what's really going to happen is a lot of gamers are just going to have to drop our way of thinking. The whole mentality of 1080p makes you a better gamer, 4K makes you a better gamer. We're going to have to shift those mentalities. And just like how the consoles have literally became, PCs themselves, we're probably going to have to start thinking like PC gamers, where it's like, okay, 1080 60 is great. Mm-hmm. Okay, 1440, 60 is great. We're going to have to start thinking like that. But, I guess even though the game is running at that, just be happy that, oh, hey, we can get this, the super scaling of 4K and still get the benefits of it looking like 4K, but with the 60 frames per second and the ray tracing. The so-called pot of gold at the end of the rainbow that we're never supposed to be able to see. We'll now be able to get it.
Yeah, but that pot of gold that no one's being able to see is like Derp says in the comment section, the storage system. But the problem with Sony's storage system, Derp, is it's not unlimited.
So, but that's pretty much all the only topics I can think of at the moment. Other than like because Emmanuel, you already said it. The Dragon Quest was coming on. What was it, like tomorrow or something like that?
Tomorrow, yep. Already, they got that new feature on Xbox where you can pre-download Game Pass games. I used to have that for the Xbox exclusives, but now you can do it for Game Pass games. So I already got it downloaded. Hopefully, sometimes they do it in the morning time, but hopefully it drops at 12 a.m. Go ahead and try it out tonight.
Yeah, the thing with Dragon Quest, y'all, that is a big thing, because for the longest time, how long has Square Enix been holding that out from the Xbox platform?
Shit, this is the first one to come out on the Xbox, right?
Exactly. This is the first time Dragon Quest has ever made its way to a Western platform. So this is, like I said, this is big, and that one person said it best on Twitter. I think it was Tim Warren. Yeah, I think it was Tim Warren. He said that is go play it. It's on Game Pass. Go get it. Go play it. Enjoy it. So that I guess when they go looking at the analytics of it, not just Square, but a lot of other developers over there can realize that, okay, the market is here. The thing that bothers me is that the market was always there for Xbox. And it's kind of like, even it's kind of like even when you look at the numbers with like Lost Odyssey and Blue Dragon, it's kind of like, those numbers were still there. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of it was just that a lot of them were just looking for the excuse because there was still that favoritism and bias. They were just looking for that excuse. And once they got that excuse, and then of course, here comes Donnie Matrick, throwing matches onto the dry leaves and everything, where with his a lot of people forget about it too, that he had an interview where he had a very inflammatory statement where he stated that that the role playing genre, well, the Japanese role playing genre was not considered profitable. That's when we started getting the whole little 3-hit formula of Halo, Gears, and Forza. And pretty much no Japanese content whatsoever. It wasn't until like the later years, I want to say like the last year of the 360 before the Xbox One released, that we saw that, what was it, the last Mega Man that came out from Capcom, that one that everybody was going crazy for.
The Mega Man 10 or 11.
I think it was. I'm trying to remember if it was 11. So I mean, dude, we wasn't getting anything. I mean, and so I'm hoping that it's starting to be understood that, okay, he's not here. He's not. Xbox does not represent him. He does not represent Xbox. He's not here. Stop thinking he's here. Because I want to start seeing that content coming back over, man. And as I keep saying, and I'll say it again, and stuff like that. If Phil means what he says about wanting to, cater to the Japanese gamer, he's got to mean what he says. He's going to have to really go after these studios. Because do money is money, and the old mentality that they all used to have of we have to support each other. That mentality is starting to kind of go away now because they're looking at Sony moving PlayStation headquarters to America because they feel they get more profit in America. So it's kind of like, and they're already getting a sour outlook towards PlayStation already because of the censorship thing. So to me, it's like, okay, well, you already see how it's going. You already see how it's looking. Then why don't you go ahead and talk to Phil? He's willing to even fund your games.
Yeah.
So long as you slap him on Game Pass. He's I mean, they willing to fund them. So, but shameless plug, everybody watching and anybody who watches later. That's why I say when you go on Twitter, just hit up Phil and say hashtag bring back Miss Walker. That's right, shameless plug. Because the thing about it is, I don't know for it's like it's a long running rumor, and I came across the stuff myself. So I don't know if he really did have his talks with Sakaguchi, but I'm hoping he did. Because I mean, that's talent wasted, and that man, dude, Sakaguchi has been through so much, and to be shunned like he is by his own community, his own country, to nobody wants to really work with him or touch him.
It's terrible.
Yeah, I mean it's sad, and I'm sure before knock on wood, anything happens to him, especially in this world situation, I'm very sure he would love to, because he already said he wants to do it. He wants to reboot Lost Odyssey. And Lost Odyssey, is, maybe his creation, but the IP belongs to Microsoft. Same with Blue Dragon. So I really hope, and and they know each other. Because Phil has been with Microsoft for a shockingly long time. I mean, damn. I mean, I didn't even realize he was there that long. So, well, on that note, that's all the topics, all the time we have, because we're already over the 2-hour mark. And I guess I'm done with my little final tangent. Any other thoughts from everybody?
No,
Uh,
very, very insightful, very educational.
so looking forward to this Game Awards. Was it next week? Hopefully we get some good Xbox reveals again.
Oh boy, that was going to be a topic too. But uh, you know what? I tell you what, we'll save it for Friday for weekly wrap.
Yeah,
Because I'm kind of interested in knowing what's going on with that too, because I just posted it myself on the Reddit that they're supposed well Microsoft is hinting at some announcements or some teasers during the VGAs, which is kind of funny because I could have swore that somebody said that they mentioned that they wasn't going to do anything, so don't go into the VGAs expecting anything. So that's kind of a contradictory, to what's being said to what's now being said.
shit. After last year, man, anything is possible.
It was, I mean, dude, it would behoove them to do something. I mean, once you hit the iron, you got to keep hitting it,
Yeah,
and especially if PlayStation Sony looking to drop some bombs themselves.
yeah, yeah. Hopefully they're literally drop another bomb like they did with revealing Godfall last year.
Yeah, so I mean, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, one dude said that the only thing I can think is that they tease a new Sly Cooper game. So that would probably electrify a few people.
Yeah,
I doubt they'll be able to show any gameplay of the next God of War. I mean, if they do it, I mean, to get it to where it is, they would have to be treating it the same way like they did Miles Morales, where it's the same engine as Spider-Man,
yeah.
but just
I,
with more bells and whistles.
I think that's definitely the case because just like with Spider-Man, they were saying there was some DLC that they just didn't publish. So I expected the same case, and it's coming to PS4 too. Surprise drop, quote unquote.
Well, they kind of retracted that, so I think they're kind of like calling themselves trying to pick and choose their words a certain way when it comes to how they're gonna handle the God of War, because I guess they felt they got enough blowback with Horizon Forbidden West. So I don't know. Like I said, I mean, we'll all have to see, how it
Yeah,
goes. But it's another topic we can save for for Friday. So on
yeah.
that note, we can go ahead and go on to the outros. So, oh shoot, I just realized Tuck already left. See what happens when I get on my tangents. Yeah, and Tech Storm here, he's all about the Sly Cooper.
Oh
Be like,
god.
shoot, it'd be like, dude, if anything, what you need to do is hit up um Jim Ryan's account and say hashtag buy Blue Point. Get it over with, man. Just stop dancing around the damn bullet.
I thought they already announced that one.
I don't think it's fully confirmed yet.
Oh, okay, okay.
But dude, they need to just go ahead and get it over with, man. Just go ahead and reboot Lost Dragoon, Legend of Dragoon, and so many others, man.
Yeah.
So, but on that note, so Tuck's already left. Hebot's already left. I should have had him leave his information, and I guess Nelson is still there. He's been surprisingly quiet. Mr.
You
Nell,
might have fell asleep.
Mr. Keep that bear in mind. Yep. He must be out cold.
Yeah, he even fell asleep, man.
But on the way out, we'll sing my man a lullaby, you know. So but anyways, ODT dude, it was awesome having you in here.
I appreciate you having me back tonight. I am actually feeling a lot more spontaneous than usual, but I am approaching my favorite time of the year, so I am actually getting quite happy about it. So this is getting kind of fun. But I would rather argue with the boy on Twitter that, you know, I actually love these games for a different reason, and it's called health, because now I can actually finally like this. But at the same time, I love these games just because they're entertainment and that they're, you know, fun to play with the wonderful communities around this globe. So I think everybody, patience is a virtue, and virtues can be learned or they can be taught. It doesn't really honestly matter. But to be this young still and looking this great is just fantastic way to live life. And I get to stay inside, so that's awesome. Don't have to take Uber no more. Just stuck inside, watching TV, minding my own business.
All right.
Concepts. But in closing, I am now practically always online, and I am always, you know, on the fly on Twitter and on Instagram at Thomas Barker 61 and at Odo T Reaper on IG.
All righty. Okay, Emmanuel. Yeah, dude,
Yep.
you've been gone for a long time, man.
Yes, sir. I guess in my head it don't seem like that long because I've been in the chat section. So I'm, in my head I'm like, yeah, I've been here every week. But yeah, it's good to be back on here, man. Chop it up with you guys. We got some great guests tonight. Good episode. Yeah, like I said, looking forward to next week's show. In the meantime, you guys can find me on Twitter at GamerWavy, WavyGamerX. Yeah, I'm always on there, talking a little shit about Xbox, PlayStation. Yeah, good episode, guys.
All right. Okay. Let's see. Let's poke the bear one more time. Mr. Bear in Mind, you there?
Oh man, he's out cold.
Lullaby. Oh man. But yeah, so anyways, everybody, I appreciate y'all coming in. This is your boy, the boss. This is the Gaming Roundtable. I hope you enjoyed your night and enjoy your gaming. Peace out.
Peace.
Peace.